go because we live in Las Vegas, and it will tell you what is happening, real estate, unemployment, all of those things, investments and everything. It will literally tell you what's happening in your Federal Reserve area. That's what you use to determine what's actually happening, because that's coming from the Federal Reserves. It's not coming from Fox, it's not coming from CNN, and it's not coming from Wall Street. It's coming from them gathering data from your district and then pulling that up and telling you what's going on. So when you have the facts, be objective is one of the 74 principles of real leadership. Now you can make more informed decisions. If you are in a fear-based, emotional mindset, you're never going to make the right decisions. And that's what has happened. We perpetuated this over and over and over and over and over again. And now cortisol, your amygdala goes, and then it releases cortisol to the prefrontal cortex. That's why you have brain fog. That's why you start making dumbass decisions, because you're not using real logic. Ronald Reagan said, trust but verify. So when we see something online, I say, okay, what's the real story? Who stands to benefit from this information? Follow the money. Who's going to make money? Who's going to lose money? Because that's what it's about, the McDonaldization of society. So when you start wiring your brain every single day using the 74 principles of real leadership and neuropability, you have a different existence on a day-to-day basis. So I don't talk about politics over here, and I got a bachelor's degree in public law and government. I'm not going to talk about religion over here or any of that, because that's divisive language. That fuels one group to feel good and one group to feel bad, and that's the superiority complex and inferiority complex. Nobody has to come over here. I'm not better than anybody. I'm smarter than a bunch of people. I have a better existence than unaccountable people, but over here we're peers. There's no fandom, no idolization, or no Dr. Donna, you're hero worshiping. That's not what takes place over here. You learn how to be a real leader with peers. And we use the 74 principles of real leadership to guide our existence. Ain't no you broke, I got more money than you, I got 3 degrees, you got a high school diploma, I'm better than you, I don't agree with your sexual orientation. It's only 2 types of people in the world over here. People who hold themselves personally accountable to become their best, and unaccountable people who can take their behinds back to Loserville. That's how this happens. And so I have been given the opportunity, thanks to the internet and the timing of life, to be able to talk to people across the world and teach you about how this amazing brain works. Yes, it's an inside out job, and it starts with your brain. So that is my objective every day that I wake up. That's why I've been live for 635 consecutive days, because you need to learn how your brain functions so that you can use it. If you think about going in Lowe's and looking at all those tools and all those screws and everything else for you to build a life, a house, a business, it's there at Lowe's. This is the Lowe's for your brain. How each individual functionality, region, and lobe of your brain works, so you can use the brain as it was designed. Right now, everybody walking around with a hammer, hitting and breaking shit. That doesn't bode well for anybody. So a hammer is used to hammer in nails and dowels and things like that. But sometimes you need a screwdriver. Sometimes you need an impact driver. Sometimes you need the back of the hammer to pull that nail out because it got in the wrong thing. So if you think about what's in Lowe's or Home Depot, Harbor Freight, wherever you choose to go to build something, that's what we're doing over here. So if you don't know that your prefrontal cortex is where the executive function of your brain resides, where your personality, your cognition, your thought process, your working memory, your cognitive flexibility, your inhibition control, if you don't know that that's there, you're going to let that amygdala make all the decision, when the amygdala's job is just to alert you of some type of feeling. If you don't know, like myself, that I struggle with reading, that it happens in the occipital lobe, located in the rear of your brain, in the occipital lobe, there is the orthographic processing center, where you start to learn phonetics, A, B, C, D, and form words and sentences. If that's not wired properly, you're not going to be doing well in reading comprehension. So now I know that, and that helps me. If you have mental illnesses, when you have excitatory and inhibitory neurons, yours are going to fire differently, and they might not wire because of the mental illness. But the brain is plastic, so you can rewire your brain to be functioning. My daughter has 3 mental illnesses. She's on live right now. She don't take no medication, and she is highly functioning and continually growing every day, because we are working with her brain at the cellular level, making sure that the neurons that fire ignite creating that neurotransmission to create that new neural pathway. I know that might be a little bit highbrow for the people who are just visiting, but your brain is the